I think.
Yes, well, my signed for today. Yeah.
Okay.
You want them? Okay.
Welcome, everyone. Mr. Chair, are you ready to begin? The River Center seems to be muted.
Okay, yes, we're ready to go.
Thank you so much. Just a reminder to everyone to please remember to speak into your mics. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Chair. Welcome, everyone. Just a few announcements before we begin. If you need English to Spanish translation online, please click on the globe icon at the bottom of your Zoom screen and select Spanish. In-person attendees needing translation can either see Noemi at the River Center or Willie, that's me, at King Gillette Ranch for assistance. Ms. Damasi, could you please make this announcement in Spanish for us?
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Raza. Mr. Raza. Share the instructions here on the screen for everybody to see. Good evening. Buenas tardes a todos. Yo soy Flor Dimasi con Global Speak Traducciones y esta tarde estaremos proporcionando interpretación simultánea al español. Para poder accesar esta función, favor de localizar el icono en forma de mundo en la parte inferior derecha de su pantalla. Una vez que lo haya hecho, seleccionar español como su idioma de preferencia. Ahora comenzará usted a escuchar la interpretación en español. Es muy importante seleccionar modo silencio audio original para evitar escuchar ambos idiomas o ruidos de fondo. Voy a poner estas instrucciones también vía chatline. Cualquier persona del público que requiera servicios de interpretación puede comunicarse con Noemí en el centro River Center o con Willy Terraza en el salón de King Gillette. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Damasi. For all public comments, those who are online attendees, please sign up using the Q&A button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. For any phone-in attendees, please dial *9 to raise your hand. Any in-person attendees may fill out a speaker card at the back of the room and hand it to a staff member. Mr. Chair, you are now welcome to call this meeting to order.
Thank you, Willie. I'd like to call the 516th joint meeting of the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy and the Santa Monica Mountains Advisory Committee to order for July, not July, that's the wrong date there. We are August 18th, 2025. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. And Sean, can I ask you to lead the Pledge of Allegiance over at?
Sure you can. I'd be happy to. Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Thank you for what you stand. One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you, Sean. Next, we'll have our land acknowledgement. Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy holds lands that originally and are still inhabited by the Fernandino Tatavian, Gabrielino Tongva, and Ventureño Chumash. We honor and respect their elders and descendants as they continue their stewardship of these lands and waters. Next, roll call of the Conservancy.
Mr. Chair, before we do the roll call, we do have an oath to administer.
Oh, okay.
Joe?
So the Ventura County Board of Supervisors has appointed Israel Rodriguez to serve for this meeting, and in place of this supervisor member. So I'm going to administer the oath to Israel. So if you would raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Israel Rodriguez.
I, Israel Rodriguez,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United
the
States
Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of
against
California
all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California.
and the Constitution of the State of
I
California.
take this obligation freely,
I take this obligation
without
freely,
any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
and I will and faithfully discharge
And I will and will faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Israel. Welcome.
Thank you.
Next, we'll move to the roll call of the Conservancy.
Miss Bochco, Miss Hutzel, Mr. Torres, Mr. Rodriguez,
Here.
Miss Lyle,
Here.
Mr. Luna, Miss Drake, Mr. Fink,
Here.
Miss Munoz,
Here.
Mr. Ortega,
Here.
Miss Pavley,
Here.
Mr. Veras.
Here.
Quorum is present.
And can we get the advisory, please, James?
Miss Acker, Miss Anderson. Oh, Miss Anderson is online with us tonight. She'll be participating as a member of the public along with Will Garand. Miss Brown,
Here.
Mr. Cacciati, Miss Conrad,
Here.
Mr. Corridori,
Here.
Mr. Dennert, Miss Dransfeld,
Here.
Miss Fossen,
Here.
Miss James,
Here.
Mr. Kishbaugh,
Here.
Mr. Kraut,
Here.
Mr. Lang,
Here.
Miss Lopez, Mr. Manukian, Miss Mikos,
Present.
Miss Nelson,
Here.
Mr. Ordubegyan, Miss Rosen, Mr. Rossman. Here. Mr. Wendler, Mr. Yagparian, Miss Newsome. Here. Mr. Anderson.
Here.
Quorum is present.
Thank you.
Okay, next, we'll move on to the introduction of legislative participants or their staff. Would any legislative participants please introduce themselves?
Declan Floyd with Assemblymember Harabedian. Good to see everybody.
How you doing, Declan?
Anthony Avila with Assemblymember Jackie Irwin. It is my first time here. It's great to see you all or meet you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Darla Dyson with Senator Perez.
Okay, welcome.
Lauren Heiser Maines with Senator Ben Allen.
Great. I believe that's everyone, correct? Okay. Thank you all for joining us and welcome to the new faces. Next, we have comments from members of the public on items not on the agenda and public testimony on all agenda items. Let me read this for the public, just so you know this. If there are members of the public online that haven't submitted their name in the Q&A box at the bottom of the Zoom screen, please do so now. Online attendees should use the Q&A button at the bottom of the Zoom screen. Phone-in only attendees should dial *9 to raise your hand. In-person attendees should fill out a speaker's card at the back of the room and hand it to the staff member of each location. Individuals will have 3 minutes to speak, while those representing organizations have 5 minutes. Staff will notify you when you have 1 minute left. Are there members of the public signed up to speak? Are there any here at the River Center? Okay, none. I guess I should ask any online first.
We have no members online. We do have 2 speaker cards here at King Gillette Ranch.
Okay, fantastic. Let's bring them up.
The first speaker is going to be Ann Kay, followed by Ashley Roscoe.
Hello, my name's Ann Komarosk. I'm your next governor. I'm actually NPP, not a Democrat or Republican. And I filed last week to run for governor, and I announced it at the city council meeting in Malibu on last Monday. So we have a very simple thing. We're just taking over the keys. We're not going to necessarily make any big changes. So anybody who works for the state, any organizations, basically, if it needs to be fixed, fix it now before inauguration day. Because we really don't want to upset the apple cart much. We just want to make it open and transparent. And that's exactly what's happening here. These meetings now are available, thankfully, online, archived. And we have a very simple website. So no, NPP means you're not Democrat or Republican, no party preference. So our website, and we have several, but this is the easiest one, npp2026.com. So np2026.com. And if you really want to go, we have other websites. We have our Unity website, which is How the West Was Won. And one is actually spelled out O-N-E. So howthewestwaswon.net or .org. So that should be pretty simple. And our slogan is really to unite everybody, work together, no red, no blue, basically, I guess maybe like burgundy. So I just want to thank you guys for doing a great job, and we'll see you rise around and you continue the good work. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Ashley?
See if I can get this down. All right, close enough. Hi, everybody. My name is Ashley Orozco, and I'm coming to you today in my official capacity as a member of the Board of Directors for Conejo Recreation and Park District. Thank you so much for taking the time today to consider our grant proposal. The Hillcrest Center for the Performing Arts holds a special place in our community, from its iconic Firework Hill to the vibrant performing arts programs it hosts for our youth. With your support, this grant will allow us to preserve and expand its vital role in our community by transforming the site into a fire resiliency center. For example, we'd love to ensure that it operates as a cooling center, emergency shelter, or PSPS refuge for when we're dealing with wildfire-related power shutoffs in our community. It also acts as a strategic buffer in the urban wildland interface, operating as a green buffer zone between our natural open space and high-density urban development. It also is a sanctuary for hundreds of our native oak trees and a hub for ongoing community fire education and engagement programs. The City of Thousand Oaks is currently considering selling the property. We now have a rare and important opportunity to secure 401, 403 Hillcrest and Fireworks Hill as a long-term community asset. Thank you again for your consideration. Our staff is here and available to answer any questions that you may have about our proposal, and we look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashley. Mr. Chair, there are no more public speakers present at KGR.
Okay, great, thank you. Next, we're going to move on to the consent calendar. We have a number of items listed. Advisory committee, would you like to move forward with the consent calendar?
Sure. So we have the consent calendar before us. Would anybody like to remove anything from consent or for consideration on A through E? Okay. Hearing none, can I get a motion?
Move approval. Kraut seconds.
Okay, great. Any discussion? Okay, James.
Ms. Acker,
Yes.
Ms. Conrad,
Yes.
Mr. Corridori,
Yes.
Ms. Dransfeld,
Yes.
Ms. Fossen,
Yes.
Ms. James,
Yes.
Mr. Kishbaugh,
Yes.
Mr. Kraut,
Yes.
Mr. Lang,
Yes.
Ms. Mikos,
Aye.
Ms. Nelson,
Yes.
Mr. Rossman,
Yes.
Ms. Newsom,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
that carries.
Okay, wonderful.
You missed Miss Brown. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Didn't drive here from Pasadena.
All right, James, you got that right?
Yes, got it. Thank you.
Fantastic. Next, Conservancy members, so the consent calendar, is there a motion to approve?
I motion.
Thank you, Mr. Ortega. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Munoz. Any items with additional questions or comments?
I had a question, Steve.
Yes.
Fran Pavley. Just a question for purpose of clarification. I'm supporting all these measures. I noticed on 8B, we're switching from funding source from the general fund to Proposition 4 allocation. Could a staff member tell me what kinds of projects are being funded from Prop 4 for this grant? What types would that be?
The city's original application is for some goat work and also emergency preparedness, you know, homeowner education.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That was the question.
Thank you. So it's goat work a technical term now?
Yes, we put those goats to work.
Okay, just checking. Okay, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Miss Lyle,
Yes.
Mr. Fink,
Yes.
Miss Munoz,
Yes.
Mr. Ortega,
Yes.
Miss Pavley,
Yes.
Mr. Veras,
Yes.
that carries.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Next, we'll move on to discussion items. Discussion item 9A is a public hearing on a proposed revolving credit agreement of the Mountains Recreation and Conservation Authority, including the issuance by MRCA of related promissory notes to finance MRCA projects, to be reimbursed or supplemented with grant proceeds and annual operations. If I can have a staff presentation here, I know if we're going to do a public hearing, I think we have to officially open the hearing. But guide me through this process here. Should we declare the public hearing open?
I think that we can get the staff presentation and then we'll open the public hearing for comments.
Okay, sounds good.
So we'd like to introduce Miss Melissa Smith. Melissa.
Hello.
In person.
Can you hear me? I'm here in person. Yeah, it's great to see you all. Thank you, Chair, board members, advisory committee. I'm Melissa Smith, Director of Management Services for Connecticut Park District, and I'm here today, like we were talking about, for consideration of a resolution making the finding of significant public benefit related to the Recreation and Conservation Authority's proposal to enter into a $12 million revolving line of credit. So that sounds like an MRCA thing. Why am I here? Because the MRCA is a joint powers authority. Each of its member agencies, including the Conservancy, are required under the Joint Powers Act to hold a public hearing and make a finding of special public benefit when we go to any type of public debt for projects like this. So that's why I'm here tonight. Importantly, I want to make this very, very clear. This is an obligation of the MRCA. It is not an obligation of its partner JPA member agencies, including the Conservancy. And as Chair Veras was saying, the repayment of this line is secured by MRCA's general revenues, the grant receipts associated with the many projects that we're drawing on those lines from, and a deed of trust on MRCA-owned property. So with that in context, I just want to explain why MRCA needs this line of credit so you have a bigger understanding. A large portion of MRCA annual budget, which saw last month, is relying on grantors and outside entities for the funding. Those grants are almost always on a reimbursement basis, which means the MRCA must spend cash upfront and then request reimbursement after the fact. Back in 2019, the Conservancy approved a similar resolution, which allowed the MRCA to establish $8 million in lines of credit for this purpose. Since then, a lot of things have changed. Inflation has significantly increased the cost of our projects and ongoing operations. But more significantly, a lot of our grantors have changed from in advance payments to in arrears. So now we have to front more of those cash demands before we can get the reimbursement we used to get. Finally, as we all know, there's a lot of emphasis on projects right now. Those also are largely based on a reimbursement basis, and it's also timed with the construction seasonality of our other projects. So we've got MRCA construction projects that we're working on happening at the same time as the fire projects, and so we need that extra cash flow to allow us to do it, even though we have the funding secured. So those are the reasons that we're increasing the request from 8 million to 12. At the same time, I also want to mention that the MRCA has taken significant steps since 2019 to address the financial position to shore up these line of credits with the goal of not needing them in the future. So in 2019, we didn't have any operating reserves. We now have over $3 million set aside to start building up on our own. So we won't need to rely on these in the future, but for now we need this to continue the work the MRCA is doing. So with that, I'm available for questions, public hearing, however James directs us, and I'm happy to answer anything.
Mr. Chair, would you like to take comments from members and advisory committee before we open the public hearing?
Yes, if that's what's advised. I don't know.
It's
The advisory committee doesn't do a public hearing, right? They take comments.
Nothing else?
Advisory can participate in the public hearing. Or just answer questions. I think just questions. Yeah.
Just questions, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so let me hand it over to Sean and then from the, I don't know, maybe legal can assist here. Do we want to open the public hearing and allow the advisory committee to have their questions be part of the hearing?
Sure.
Field questions, but I don't want to open up the meeting to any discussions. So I don't know, in other words, we don't want to have an open discussion without having noticed it. So I think more taking comments and they can take the questions back to consider them, but we won't be having any interactive discussions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Sean, it's all yours.
Okay, great. Anybody have any comments, I should say?
Yes, Peter Kraut, member of the advisory committee. I would just suggest that MRC consider adopting a policy, if they have not done so already, indicating what the line of credit can be used for. We've heard a lot of discussion here that the line of credit would be for projects where the grants are coming in arrears. I would just caution MRCA that a policy of such would maybe prevent future parties from spending down that line of credit for ongoing administrative costs and getting the organization into debt that they can't get out of. That's just a suggestion. Appreciate the report. Thank you.
Sure, and I can actually speak to that in the terms for our lines of credit, the way we use them now, that we'll continue that in the future. We always provide that documentation along with every single draw, and then we pay it back as we receive those reimbursements. So that is a relationship and a tracking mechanism we have in place. So happy to make it a policy.
Great. Other comments, George?
Yes, as chair of the MRCA, I can tell you that this is going to make it much easier on the source of funds and so forth, and take the pressure off of our finance group and so forth to know where the funds for the next, needs are going to come from. And having this already established and their ability to adjust the different projects and expenditures, it's really going to be a great thing. So I'm just very pleased that we're going in this direction, and I want to thank the finance staff.
Thanks, George.
For all that they've done in the past, and juggling and moving funds around and so forth. And now to be able to have this available and to do the things that need to be done, and not have to be concerned overnight where's the money coming from. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I was just curious. Obviously, I think you need the flexibility. What is different about the way this new line of credit is going to work as opposed to the old way?
Oh, I can talk to you about this for hours, but I'll keep it.
You don't need to spend hours.
Keep it narrow. So the old line of credit was actually 3 lines of credit. So it was 3 lines of credit that totaled $8 million, and they were broken into tax types. Basically, if it was more operating based, working capital, or capital, and there are different rates for each of those things. So we were tracking each of them separately. We now have the ability where we can do one single line of credit, and then that determination is based on the project by project basis, which again goes back to my comment before, where we're reporting on exactly what project is being used, the funds are being used for, so that that rate can be established. So that's the big difference, is that flexibility and the total amount.
Thank you.
Are you getting a better rate now that you've combined the 3? Is this part of the reasoning behind that?
No, the rate's about the same depending on which type of project. It's more the increase in the amount, and then it's just easier for us. So they're making me happy, which is nice.
I've So just for clarity, this is, we're getting rid of the 8 and replacing it with 12. We're not going to 20.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, good. And I would just say, also just note that all of my other agencies and boards, we've all had to increase our lines of credit over the last 2 years for similar reasons. So definitely seen the need across all of our entities that do all this kind of good on the ground stuff. So thank you. Any other last comments from advisory?
I'm not quite sure how to ask this. May we know who the lending institution is?
We are in final discussions with 2 different entities, but when we bring it to the MRCA, I can report back.
I'm concerned about having a conflict of interest, that's all.
Okay, I think that's it for the advisory comments, not questions, but comments.
So on our part, we open for comments or the hearing.
I think, so SMMC, as far as I understand it, needs, you guys, we only make a finding of a public benefit, right? So I think.
I'm sorry, we can't hear at King Gillette.
Sorry, we're conferring with our AG representative here.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll declare the public comment or the public hearing. So we'll declare the public hearing open. We'll take comments from members of the public first.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's any members of the public online at either of the physical locations that would like to make a comment on this, if you can please follow our instructions as provided at the beginning of the meeting. And we'll keep those rolling in. And I see none here. James, any on that side?
None at King Gillette Ranch or online.
Okay. Okay, and if it's appropriate, we'll close the public comment piece and then take comments from members of the Conservancy. Okay, great. Any from King Gillette Ranch, members of the Conservancy that would like to make a comment on this item? Okay, I hear none. Any from the River Center? No. Okay, so as advised by our attorney, we're finding a public benefit. And so we'll take it by a motion and a second for this item.
This is not an action item. The action will come with item 9B.
With 9B. Okay. Got it. Sounds good. So then we'll stand that the comments have been closed and we had an opportunity to speak, and we are now moving forward with item 9B. So consideration of a resolution authorizing the execution and delivery of and approving as to form a revolving credit agreement and the issuance of promissory notes in the total amount not to exceed $12 million to finance projects and annual operating costs, a deed of trust, a pledge agreement, and certain other documents in connection therewith, and authorizing certain related actions. Okay, with that action, I believe our advisory committee has already commented.
Right.
Yes. Okay, so then let me move to an action of the Conservancy here. So can I take a motion and a second on this item?
I had a question first, if I may, Fran
Yes.
Pavlik, just out of curiosity, compared to on the state level, we had some discussion once in a while over the years on use access of deed of trust, putting up properties for the flexibility of perhaps selling the properties in order to pay off loans or costs. Is that what the Trebek parcel would be used for in the event of? I didn't know why that was singled out, or why deed of trust on parcels of land, because I'll just share with you, back in the recession in the early 2000s, Department of Fish and Wildlife had to sell quite a few state properties because that was the only option in order to pay off loans.
Yeah, and I'm happy to answer that. So yes, basically, in short, it's the same kind of collateral package that we provided with the 2019 lines. And so they're maintaining that for this agreement. But it's first MRCA general fund revenues, then it's the grant or other project funding sources that are identified specifically when we're taking the draws. And then last but not least would be the Trebek property.
Out of curiosity, why was that singled out?
Oh, back in 2019, do you know why it was Trebek or?
The funding. I think the funding source allowed us to do it because it was not bond funded or.
I see. Okay. It wasn't tied into a specific. Sorry.
Unrestricted, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's right. The property had been donated, so it did not have financial strings attached to it.
Thank you for, I couldn't figure out of all the properties out there. That's the only questions I have. I'd be glad to make a motion to approve that.
Okay. Thank you. Motion by Pavli. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ortega. Roll call vote, please.
Just a quick question, Ms. Franklin, is the advisory committee not voting on this item?
Everyone should vote on it. Okay, so then let's go back. My apologies. My confusion as a chair, because I understood it as comments only, but maybe it's just the way we had it agendized. So, let's, Mr. Anderson, let's go back and take your vote, but I will hold our motion and our second and come back to the roll call vote after your comments.
Excellent. So can I get a motion for 9B?
Kraut moves significant public benefit.
Excellent. In a second?
Second, Roseanne Lakis.
Excellent. I suppose we have no comments. I'll ask again, but I suspect we have no comments. So can we get the vote, James?
Ms. Acker,
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Conrad, Mr. Corridori,
Yes.
Ms. Dransfeld,
Yes.
Ms. Fossen,
Yes.
Ms. James,
Yeah.
Mr. Kishbaugh,
Yes.
Mr. Kraut,
Yes.
Mr. Lang,
Yes.
Ms. Mikos,
Aye.
Ms. Nelson,
Yes.
Mr. Rossman,
Yes.
Ms. Newsom,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
that carries.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Apologize for the confusion here. It's the same item, basically for two items. But with that, we have a motion by Fran Pavli and a second by Rudy Ortega. If we can have a roll call for the Conservancy.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Lyle,
Yes.
Mr. Fink,
Yes.
Ms. Munoz,
Yes.
Mr. Ortega,
Yes.
Ms. Pavli,
Yes.
Mr. Veras,
Yes.
that carries.
Okay, great. Next is item 9C, consideration of a resolution authorizing a grant to the Conejo Recreation and Park District for the acquisition of 401 and 403 West Hillcrest for land preservation and wildfire resiliency community programming. Do we have a staff report on that?
Mr. Chair, excuse me, Mr. Chairman and members, Jim Friedel, General Manager of CRPD, and his staff are also available for questions that might come up. Board member Ashley already gave public comment, but Jim, did you have anything else to add?
Not in particular. I think my boss, Director Orozco, did an excellent job summarizing it. I can say that one of the things you need to imagine, for those of you familiar with Fireworks Hill between the Oaks and Jance Marketplace, right on the 101 freeway, very prominent hillside, and the city has for years signaled their full intention to sell the hill for other priorities. And we basically approached them and said, what would it take for you to sell it to us? And I don't have a firm number there. I can tell you we both now have appraisals and that conversation is just beginning. If we can't come to an agreement with them because it won't be a cheap property, we obviously would not be able to take advantage of the grant, but we do believe this 2 million would be a super beneficial additional investment in the acquisition of those 60 acres, very prominent property right there. And we've already used that property for an evacuation shelter. In the Springs fire, the Red Cross evacuated their headquarters to Hillcrest Center. So we've had it for all sorts of different emergency purposes already. We're right next door to a fire station, and they use the top of the hill for a helicopter landing pad and training area. So it's already had all these great beneficial uses, and we're desperately interested in keeping that property in the public park sphere and not to some private development.
And I'd also add that obviously this is a way to make sure that that property, which is beloved in the community, does not revert to something that would not advance fire resiliency and habitat preservation and community programming needs. It is definitely, we believe it is very eligible for Prop 4 because of the use of the preserving the oak woodland and the other habitat on the property, and also converting the former National Park Service facility as a fire resiliency center, cooling center, all community center, all that.
Otherwise, I'm available for questions.
Okay, advisory committee.
Yeah, so, okay, great. Can I get a motion from anybody?
Corridor, I'll move approval.
Cool, and a second?
I'll second.
Oh, great, excellent, Bev. Okay, great, thanks. And any questions or any comments?
Yeah, if I could, the land is separated into numerous parcels, some developed and some undeveloped. Will this funding be allocated towards the undeveloped parcels or towards the purchase as a whole, or do we have any need to make that separation?
CRPD or the park district doesn't feel there's a need to necessarily attribute this grant to any one given particular parcel, because we don't know how the negotiations to actually close this expensive transaction will be. The flexibility of affixing it to a parcel would be super appreciated as we get closer to making this all happen. I'd like to believe we can afford the whole, but I don't know that for 100% certain yet.
I would just say, I think maybe it's my misunderstanding, but it's kind of unusual for us to allocate grants for developed parcels that have, recreation centers and such already built in there. Is that within the norm of what we typically do? It is. Okay, thank you.
Other comments or questions? George?
Yes, as you know, this is on a hill, it has a lot of advantages, not only the views and so forth, but the Conejo Valley ham radio operators annually, if not more frequently, hold field days there, their annual field days. So as we all know, ham operators are able to communicate within the community when other methods are no longer available. So we really appreciate Radio Club, the ham operators, and they're utilizing the facility to communicate. So I think it's a great advantage to have that available for them too.
Excellent. Other comments?
This is Mr. Rossman. I just had a couple questions. One related to the previous question about the multiple parcels. So is this contingent upon full funding for all the acquisitions, or like are we authorizing to move forward with, one of these parcels with our portion of funding if that becomes available? That's my first question.
So I'd love the flexibility to be able to fix the grant to a specific parcel. Right now, our main objective is to acquire the lower 30 acres. The upper 30 acres are already zoned open space. The lower 30 acres are mixed use, and I've seen plans for development, and there's not a lot of space left if it were to go private. So our objective is to acquire the whole hill, all 60 acres. And I will be working with the city to make that a reality, but I can't sit here right now and say for sure I'll have all 60 acres, but that is definitely our objective. And to the extent there's a particular parcel or or two, like if we might have the leeway to work with staff to directly, call out some of the priority parcels. If the Conservancy has some specific parcels in mind, we could say these grants only work on these parcels, but until I know what the total dollar the city's going to require is, I don't know how much, whether we're going to get the whole thing.
Okay, and yeah, I guess I'm just unclear on what we're agreeing. Like, if I look at it, it's like $20 million total acquisition, and we're authorizing 2 million, that's a 90% match. That sounds fantastic. But I don't know if we authorize this, if this goes forward with, a smaller acquisition using these dollars, not to leverage that greater acquisition.
Yeah, I could tell you that we're definitely looking at closer to that $20 million figure. So even north potentially. So we're prepared for that. CRPD is. So it is going to be a small percentage of the total cost.
Okay. And then the other question I had was just maybe more of a comment, but the irony of, all this emphasis on fire resilience for Firework Hill, call out to doing a fireworks show there. I know a lot of communities switched to LED drones, and maybe this is a third rail, but I just wanted to sort of raise that issue and give you a chance to speak to that.
You're gonna make me speak to whether we're gonna have fireworks still on Fireworks Hill? That's above my pay grade. That's a staff person in our community. It is a very prominent hillside, and you probably have close to 100,000 people that can see our fireworks show. I will tell you that we have several water trucks and fire apparatus on top of the hill as the fireworks do go off. In fact, this year, a very, very small brush fire started, and we had 6 guys on it, and it was out in seconds. And I was asking around. I think we've had the fireworks on that hill for well over 40 years. I don't know how many exactly, but nobody yet has been able to tell me when the first year was, but I'm pretty sure it's been more than 40 years now that the fireworks have been shot off the top of that hill.
I would just add that the city of Thousand Oaks has recently updated its general plan, and one of the big emphases in all those discussions were reuse of some of our shopping malls that weren't being as heavily used, et cetera. And the recent reporting is all that those parcel owners are no longer interested, at least not at the moment, at putting apartments and stuff there. So I think there's definite interest in this open space as where we might move the houses to. So I think there's a surprising amount of potential pressure or desire to develop this. And I don't think we should be overly sentimental, but I think fireworks, retirement parties, all kinds of things of our history is tied to this, right? So for our friends that are new to the board, that's where the Park Service was before we moved to this fantastic facility, for example. And so it just seems like a wonderful opportunity to keep our presence in and around this particular spot and keep it going. So those are my two cents. And does anybody else, any other advisory comments?
I just have a comment. I went and visited it. I took a tour with Jim. I think it's a beautiful area. It's a beautiful hill, and it's nice to support our communities over the hill. And this sounds like something that you guys, an endeavor that you're really interested in doing for fire safety with fireworks. But I just wanted to say that, yeah, it's a pretty ambitious project. 20 million is what you're looking for in the end of it.
Since my city friends might be listening, I don't want to throw a number out, but that's not an unreasonable number.
Okay.
The 20,000 square feet of the former National Park Service building alone is extremely valuable.
I love that.
New construction's $1,000 a foot.
Yeah.
So just picking up that extra square footage alone.
Yeah.
And
Great, thank you.
Jim saying that made me think of just the investment in terms of really so for PVRPD alone, we're trying to get a just a gymnasium. And that's looking like $20 million just for a gymnasium. So looking at this whole project, all the acreage, it's just, it's a wonderful investment.
It's the future Vista Hermosa.
Okay, I think it sounds like our comments and questions are done. So James?
Ms. Acker? Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Conrad?
Yes.
Mr. Corridori?
Yes.
Ms. Dransfeld?
Yes.
Ms. Fossen?
Yes.
Ms. James?
Yeah.
Mr. Kishba?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Lang?
Yes.
Ms. Mikos?
Aye.
Ms. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Rossman?
Yes.
Ms. Newsom?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
That carries.
James Michael Cacciotti's here.
Thank you, Michael. What's your vote?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Conservancy members, any questions or comments? And will there be a motion in a second?
So moved.
Motion by Munoz.
I'll second.
Second by Ortega. Any remaining questions? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Lyle?
Yes.
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Ms. Munoz?
Yes.
Mr. Ortega?
Yes.
Ms. Pavley?
Yes.
Mr. Veras?
Yes.
That carries.
I say thank you so much. Thank you all very much.
Thank you all for coming. Next, we're going to go to reports. On the chairperson's report, I just wanted to make the comment that I know, and maybe Mr. Fink will have this as part of his report, but Director Quintetto was down over by the LA River, and MRCA staff Brian joined us out there and did a little mini tour for legislators and community members of the Bowtie parcel of state parks. And so I know there's a big conversation coming forward for the programming of Prop 4. And obviously it's an important proposition for all of us, and have lots of projects in this region, but I wanted to note that here as one of those that has construction documents, I think, very nearly out the door for bids. And so that's an exciting project there. But so I'll leave it with that. B is Coastal Commission. Do we have a Coastal? I know Ms. Bochco's not here, but do we have a Coastal Commission report?
No, sir.
Okay, next is the Coastal Conservancy.
No, sir. No report.
Okay, Attorney General.
Nothing from the Attorney General tonight. Thank you.
All right, National Park Service.
Yeah, good evening. I just have a couple of updates. First, Paramount Ranch rebuild project, post Woolsey fire. We are getting so close, and I wanted to tell everyone that we're all very excited. We are approaching the end of the construction phase and really hope that by the end, certainly by the end of the calendar year, maybe even a little sooner, the site will be turned back over to the Park Service from the contractor. And then we'll start kind of our part of building picnic benches and all the stuff that has to happen to be able to reopen. So we are looking forward to a big celebratory event, and I will keep all of you informed as we do that. And it'll probably be in the first part of the year that we would do that event. So more on that later. And then the second and final thing for tonight is I just wanted to share, I had a great site visit last Friday at our new seed farm that's at Rancho Sierra Vista. And I think some of you who were here the night that Joey Algiers spoke to us about some of our restoration efforts in the park, he mentioned that we had started a new seed farm. This is different than we had a test seed farm that we've been using as part of the Wallace-Annenberg Wildlife Crossing. But we've been using that as a testing ground to learn lessons so that we could then apply those to our more permanent seed farm that we planted this year in January at Rancho Sierra Vista. And I just wanted to share the exciting news that we have now, those plants have been in the ground, 20,000 plants since January. And just this month, they have become ready for the first seed collection. And so we are collecting seeds like mad. And we had our first volunteer events of people being able to come and harvest seed. And this will just continue on and on in the future. We plan to plant another 40,000 plants in that farm. So we're about a third of the way built out for this seed farm. And it's just going to be an incredible resource for us because one of the limiting factors of doing restoration on sort of large scale in the mountains is the access to native seed. And so we're basically agricultural farming native plants in order to catch, to be able to collect seed. And they were telling me last week that already it is so satisfying that we can get so much more seed than we could ever collect in the wild. So
Where is that again?
it's in Rancho Sierra Vista.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you. That's our report.
Okay, thank you. Next, State Parks report.
That's great.
Yes, thank you for the update on the bow tie, which is a project that is in development in downtown Los Angeles to turn a parcel along the LA River into a state park. It's shaped like a bow tie, so that's where it gets the name from. And yes, Director Quintero was down. He's a big supporter. And quite honestly, Director Quintero is a big fan of everything that goes on here in the LA area. He's here all the time and in all of our parks. And sometimes I don't even know he's here. And I show up to the park and there he is, just eating lunch with the staff. So he's a huge fan of everything that we do down here. With that, I'll say State Parks received a generous grant from the Conservancy a few months ago, and we are now about to release the advertisement for some of those positions to get that grant moving forward. So we'll share it with the group here, but we're going to be hiring a couple key positions. One will help us expand our fuel modification program so that residents can submit permits to state parks and conduct brush clearance around their homes. We already have a program in place, but right now it's averaging about 6 to 9 months to turn these around. So with the addition of this person, we expect to be able to do these from start to finish within 2 months. So that'll be huge for the neighbors. Yep. Question? Yep.
Yeah, a lot of comments on Nextdoor and Facebook on this very issue. The change in policy, that a lot of public comment locally in Topanga Canyon on this issue. Neighbors have banded together to cut actually, clear the areas in state parks with permits, and the permitting process took 9 months. But the question really was, and hasn't been dealt with, although there were people who commented about why this happened. And it would be great to be able to have it been a link so that I could send people as to why this policy is the way it is and, what's happened here. I know there was the lawsuit and some other things, but it would be, somebody commented about that, but I'd really would want to hear from you what the public, what the stance is, so that we have clear communication with the community about how this happened, because people are organizing. We had the area Upper Encina and Entrada, that area. So they cleared, as you know, and other areas are going to want to adopt and do the same. And there's also questions to the Conservancy, whether the Conservancy is going to adopt something similar. So this has been comments of the last 2 weeks that I've received and questions.
Yeah, certainly a big discussion that we can have. State Parks has not changed its policy at any time in the recent future. It's the same as it's always been. We've made more of an effort to educate and promote the program to get people to participate. It does require a lot of education. When you tell the homeowner that they're responsible for coming into a state park and clearing out brush, that's a hard sell for people. And there's reasons for that. So I'm happy to, I guess, present, or, I've come, I think, and spoke to your group before too, but always happy to continue that conversation. There's no change of policy for the state. It's codified. Everybody follows the same rules. If you own a dwelling, you are responsible for the brush clearance around your dwelling. It doesn't matter whose property it is. If it's your backyard, that's the first 50 feet, and the next 50 feet are state parks. It's still your responsibility by government code. So what we do at the state is we offer really easy permit, low cost. We give them to neighbors. We used to give it to just one neighbor at a time. Now we're considering bulk neighbor kind of group permits, which we think are very effective in helping us streamline the work. That's kind of the high level summary. Always happy to dive deeper into that, but no policy change at this time. I will say that with these grant funds, we are going to participate in the county's larger effort to develop a fire management, fuel management strategy for the mountains themselves. And so if there's advice or feedback that comes out of that process that maybe suggests that state parks should look at their policy and consider alternative ideas, I think we're open to that.
So can you reiterate with regarding the staffing, you have a new staffer joining you?
We got grant money from the Conservancy to do fire resiliency, fuel modification, that kind of work, and particularly Topanga, Will Rogers. So we're hiring a few positions. One of those will be a person that basically is just processing these permits. They're going to process the paperwork. They'll go out they'll do site visits. They'll meet with the homeowners. They'll craft a plan for a fuel modification around their homes. And having this extra person will allow us to double our mighty fuel permit team from 1 to 2. And so we think we'll be a lot quicker. We're also hiring an interpreter that'll be stationed at the corner of PCH and Topanga at the LADWP site. We'll be offering public information out of a visitor service container there related to the trails, related to those fuel modification permits, structure hardening, all that good stuff. We'll have the information in our state parks container. So we're hiring that person. And then we're hiring some of those seasonal staff that are going to get out and actually pull weeds and cut brush. So that's, I guess, our update is we're eager to get started on this project, and we will be sure to share those positions with you when they go out.
Great. Thank you so much.
I had a question to follow up on that, if it's the appropriate time, because thank you for that presentation. And it brings to mind, several people have asked me if the Conservancy one is similar to that or different on the ability to clear. Is it the same thing, 50 feet, or how's that going? Because I don't want to give misinformation out, because I think we're
Right.
just figuring out what State Parks is doing, and now
So MRCA has for a number of years had, also following state law, we issue letters to every homeowner adjacent to one of our parcels saying, giving them a no-cost permit to come in and do whatever the county or the city requires. So that's already in place.
So that's the definition, whatever the county or the city requires, where that
Yeah,
property
and-
is, underlying property.
Right, and then, of course, as you know, that we give them, because the county and the city have a 200-foot clearance zone, which is not consistent with the state law.
Right.
But we'd give them that opportunity if they have 100 feet that would extend onto our property, they have the right to do that.
So if the
Up to 200
city or
feet from the
county has
structure.
I'll just make it up, an oak tree ordinance or something,
Well, they can't cut down trees, no.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Okay.
It's just brush, just fuel grass.
Field grasses. And it's the reason it's getting a little more complex is because we back up in many cases to national park also. And so for the average person in Liberty Canyon, we have 4 different property owners around the outside. And everyone is different.
Yes.
But
And
if
yes,
you
that-
live here, you don't know the people 4 blocks away have totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have that issue here in Malibu as well, which is people don't know who owns what sometimes, so it's hard to get them to brush clear.
We have Calabasas, who does a great job and clears everything right to our property, and so don't listen to any of this. And then we have national park, so it's just getting confusing to the average person. It's a communication thing. I think everyone's well-meaning and moving in the right direction.
Could somebody, if they wanted to, go to the PIO that you're going to have at the container at Topanga and PCH and find out on the map where they are, and they can ask them?
Yes, we can do that.
Great.
Yep. We have access, like I'm sure others do, to the property boundaries and the ownership. I think you had a question about a home too, right? Yeah, so we can absolutely do that. And it's not just brush clearance. I think we're willing to entertain, I think, was it, National Parks maybe had a presentation on like fuel replacement, like actually pulling things out and planting new things. We're open to all that.
And it can be more than one time a year if it's needed.
Yes. And because it's complicated, I'm happy, I'm not the expert, but we do go out and present on this. So if it helps this group, I'm always happy to offer a more formal presentation and then we can dive into the details.
I do have a question on that. On some of them, they can go beyond the 200 feet if they apply and are approved for a fuel modification plan with the county, correct? Like, for instance, if they wanted, let's say their house sits in a situation where they deem there's probably a need for more defensible space than the 200, and they get that approved, are you guys able to do that beyond that?
State parks would not do that.
No.
On a fuel modification?
No, that's because that we have to follow the science. And there's no good science that says that more defensible space beyond even 100 feet is beneficial. It really has to be a structure out situation. So I don't.
So the reason we wouldn't do it is slightly different. It's because we're a natural resource agency. Our mission is to protect habitat and conserve habitat. So outside of like what the city, the county might require, it doesn't align with our mission to continue allowing brush clearance past that 100 or 200-foot line.
Reason why I ask is in Malibu, in the unincorporated area, there are cases where houses are situated and it's just, they sit up on a cone, for instance, and the way the fire is. And so we do allow, in certain cases, they can go beyond that. I was just wondering if you guys did.
I would just add that many of our cities and counties have recently received wildfire resiliency grants, which are designed for brush clearance and other items like that. And it might be wise for us to figure out how we can spend some of that money on a website or other centralized location where people could click on a map and know who their adjacent parcels were and what these rules are, because I'm as confused as anybody sitting here. And this discussion is moot unless you know exactly who owns the parcel next to you. So I think creating those resources for the community might go a long way towards helping them clear their responsibility as well. And I think that would tie into some of our grants. So that's something we should explore.
If they don't know the flexibility that they have to make a defensible space, that's not helpful.
No.
Is it on now?
Yes.
So, Mr. Chairman, let's be really clear. If you're adjacent to Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy or Mountains Recreation Conservation Authority, you do not have to go to anybody. You don't have to go to anybody. You don't apply, you don't click on a web page, you don't go to anybody. It is automatically given to you as long as you're complying with the local rules. Okay, if the local rules say 200 feet, fine. If the local rule says 100 feet, if you're complying with the rules, you don't have to come to us. So it's not a situation of, well, the Conservancy didn't give us anything. You're automatically given, automatically. And that is unique. National Park Service doesn't do that. State Parks doesn't do that. So, and I don't know, private parties have to work it out among themselves. But I want to let everybody know, in terms of these agencies that are represented around this table, no permits required, no check that you have to give out to a government agency. Nobody have to go to a PIO at some corner. It's automatically granted. Okay? I hope we all understand that.
But is there a site where I can take them to link about compliance, so I can make it easy for them? When I write about this.
Ally, I need your mouth by the mic, please.
Okay. It would be great to have a link to a website with the rules of compliance so that they know. To make it easier.
I think we have a website like that, don't we?
We have the general website. I just would like a link. If I could get it, that'd be great.
So send me a recommendation what that website ought to look like, and we'll do it. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's move on to the next report here. Forest Service report.
No report.
Okay, executive director's report.
So legislature is back in session. Hold your wallets. It'll be out of session in 30 days. And then the governor has another 30 days to pass on bills passed by the legislature in the last 30 days of session. And obviously Proposition 4 implementation is probably the most important thing we have on our agenda. Other neighboring issues maybe the governor will be calling attention to. So it's going to be a roller coaster. But we do expect that the legislature will appropriate the money for Proposition 4. And so that's what we're working on in the next month.
Great. Thank you, Joe. Next is the Mountains Recreation and Conservation Authority report. George?
Thank you, Chair. As you all received a copy of the MRCA report via email. Thank you, James, for doing that. I do want to just highlight the one item under the Operations and Ranger Services where the Rangers celebrated World Ranger Day with a kayak tour that included staff from Assembly Member Jesse Gabriel's office. And one of the reasons I'm mentioning that, not only that we participated in World Ranger Day, and I want to compliment our Rangers on the presentation that they did, and you may have received a copy of it in the email, but also the fact that they gave them a kayak tour. And if any of you have not taken a tour on the LA River or Hanson or Sepulveda Dam Basin, I highly recommend that you do that and experience it. It's as if you're in a different world. So please, and I think it runs from Memorial Day to, it used to be Labor Day, but I think it's the end of September now. So if you haven't done it yet, go ahead and book your kayak trip. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Next, Santa Clarita Watershed Recreation and Conservation Authority report. Susan?
Nothing to report tonight.
Okay, thank you. Next is the Wildlife Corridor Conservation Authority report. Paul?
No report.
Then we have the Moore Park Watershed Parks Recreation and Conservation Authority report.
No report.
Okay, any additional oral reports by staff, Joe? Rory?
No, sir.
Okay, questions to staff? Okay, and members' comments on any matters not on the agenda. Do anybody have last parting comments here? And Sean, we have Ms. Brown here on at the River Center.
Yes, I'd like to let everyone know that the Annenberg Wildlife Corridor was mentioned in a report in Morongo Valley. The Desert Regional Conservancy out there has become alarmed with the number of wildlife that has been killed on Highway 62 as it goes through Morongo Valley and up onto Yucca Valley. And they have pinpointed 2 natural places where they would like to do some wildlife overcrossings. And so the fact that we have been so successful in attracting attention to the public at large about the Annenberg wildlife crossing, I wanted to let everyone know that it has implications even in a small little town such as Morongo Valley with the efforts they're going to persist, because it's hard to believe, but there have been black bear and deer killed in the Morongo Valley River Basin there. They come down out of the mountains for the water, the greenery, and the pressure on wildlife everywhere is strong and very difficult at this time because of all the fires and the heat and the climate change. So this is a very important move on their part out in the small little desert community. Thank you.
Okay. Back to you, Sean.
Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
Yes, I'd also like to make an announcement regarding the Wallace-Annenberg Wildlife Crossing. Department of Transportation released on Friday their closure announcements that Agora Road will be closed in one direction for the month of September with traffic control. And then in October, Agora Road will be closed completely until June 2026 while they complete the extension of the bridge there. So just something to share with everybody when you have an opportunity to interact with the public.
Yes, Caltrans will have a shuttle system so that there will be a way to get, and bicycles are the mostly impacted by this, but they will have a way to shuttle around.
Fantastic.
This is Halen from Malibu. I also wanted to, I have an announcement that the company BurnBot is doing a demo for prescribed fire and remote mastication with Caltrans District 7. They'll be here in Thousand Oaks, and attendees will experience firsthand the capability of BurnBot's R/2 prescribed fire robot and remote operated masticators in a roadside environment. If anybody's interested, please let me know. You register now. Local and regional fire departments, city and county officials, public works and emergency management, everybody will be there. It's a new, hopefully, some sort of technology that is interesting for our area. Thank you.
Is it this week or when is it?
Oh, it's August 27th, Thousand Oaks from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. We had a recent call with Ken, your guys.
Ken Nelson.
Yes, lovely guy. Hopefully he'll make it out. He knows about it. So it's August 27th, 8 a.m. to 1 in Thousand Oaks.
I'll be there.
Cool.
Thank you.
That sounds fun.
BurnBot is a really cool technology. I've seen it in San Diego. It may not have applications everywhere, but it's very cool, especially for roadsides.
Preparedness fair.
Yes, and there's also the Malibu, thank you very much, and Topanga Prepared Safety Expo in Malibu on September 7th, I believe, no, September 6th. And everybody is welcome to come and see what preparedness looks like in Malibu. And then Topanga has theirs.
On October 4th, because they were scheduled for the same day, so we split them, so we wouldn't compete. So if you miss one, you can go to the other.
Yes.
We're gonna have a lot of the same vendors.
And I'll be in Topanga supporting our
Yeah.
neighbors. Thank you.
Cool. And I'll just say we just wrapped up several weeks of wildfire recovery work, and so many of you here and the people we touch, we're absolutely a part of that. From Chief Nelson coming and talking to the students when we were up at near 69 Bravo, in Altadena when we're doing stuff, and attending the first sort of big post-fire celebratory concert for the community. This guy flops down next to me and starts talking to me, and he's one of our outward bound adventures that we just funded the previous week. And so all the stuff that we're doing has been fantastic. Allie put us in touch with Hannah and fantastic colleagues around. So wanted to thank again, I said it last time, but I want to thank again everybody that's helped us with our efforts to help the community. And we're all doing great stuff and totally appreciate it. And I also just wanted to, since we're talking about the wildlife crossing, say a thank you to Ms. Annenberg that helped us get that sucker across the finish line, and her legacy is still unfolding. So thank you to everybody.
Can we adjourn in her name tonight?
Yes.
Just.
That sounds great.
Great.
Okay.
Any other comments? Okay, great. Thanks, Steve. Back to you.
Okay, fantastic. Any other comments from the Conservancy?
I had a comment. This is, Fran, probably just a quick update. The Wildlife Conservation Board will be meeting on Thursday, August 28th. And we'll have one more meeting in November before the end of the year. This agenda is small. And the reason is budget impacts, right? And the uncertainty of Prop 4, where those dollars are going, and greenhouse gas emission dollars, whether ideally go to reducing climate pollutants. We're not sure where that is going, but backfilling the general fund, and you can imagine in Sacramento, there's a lot of pressure, whether it's coming from schools or public safety or you name it. So this will be a challenge, especially on Prop 4. So it'll be very important for cities or people that are concerned about that, maybe to engage in the next few weeks as legislators will be making choices, and especially through the budget process. The world of trade-offs in the last few weeks, looking at Joe, has always a concern. So that could affect a lot of the Prop 4 dollars coming out in the next fiscal year. Or backfilling, taking what's existing there. I've noticed that most of the items on the WCB agenda for the 2028 come from former existing bond funds, Prop 117 or Prop 50, old ones. So if you have projects that can fill in those categories, that's really smart choice for the short term as we look to see what we're going to do in the years ahead. Last thing is the vice chair of the Wildlife Conservation Board. I think a lot of you know him, Damon Nagami from Santa Monica. He's with NRDC. He's really good on resource issues. He may want to come see the Santa Monica Mountains in some of your areas, whether I'm looking at Hayden or different people. I think that could be good because he would be a natural. I was thinking the kayak trip or something like that, because has a good, strong background, but not necessarily in some of the areas that we're working in. The seed success story by the National Park Service, that's really something that the state should come see, frankly. I mean, it's really amazing story. So we're seeing, and we're a little on the state level, how much money should be given to national forests, because we never know what's going to be used for the intended purposes. We work very well with the national parks in the area and the National Forest Service in California. They have great relationships, but for political reasons, sometimes money can be moved along or not spent for its intended purposes. So it's a challenging times for the next few months. So that's my update. I'll keep you posted.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, any other comments? Okay, seeing none. We do not have a closed session. Our next meeting will be September 15th. And we will be adjourning in the memory of Wallace Annenberg today. So thank you all and have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.